two different, well, there's more than two different ways we can do high flow nasal cannula. This one here is the old fashioned way. So you would get all of this tubing in a packet. It's just like a high flow nasal packet, has everything in it. So this is the concha like we use on a vent circuit, and it would go right into the same kind of heater base. So the concha one. So we're gonna use the same kind of heater. So it's really simple to set up. All you're gonna do is take your high flow tubing, which you can see has heated wires in it, and you're gonna put it on one side. And this would of course hook to the heater. And then on the other end, so there's a place for your temperature probe there, and the other temperature probe there, just like we do on the vent circuit. You're gonna have a short wire and a long wire. And then there's the place for the nasal cannula. So like this is how the tubing will come, and then you'll get a nasal cannula. This is a special nasal cannula that works with high flow, and it will go into the top here like that. And then the other side is going to go off of the other side of the heater. This is a pressure relief valve that's automatically built in, so we don't give the patient accidentally too much pressure. This is going to be hooked to a flow meter, not this one. The flow meter will normally have a very high liter flow on it. This one does not. So for today, this one only goes to 15, but there's ones that can go to 40. And so you would have high flow heated nasal cannula. And then the blender can be used to set your FiO2. So how many people have seen blenders before? Okay, a couple of you. So this is what it's inside all of our ventilators of some sort. It doesn't look like this, but all we're doing is taking oxygen and air and breaking it down by adding in certain components of each to get the FiO2 that we want. So again, big advantage of high flow nasal cannula is that you get a very high flow, but not necessarily high amounts of oxygen. Because even though this looks like an oxygen flow meter, it's only going to deliver the FiO2 that's prescribed through the blender. Does that make sense to everybody? Okay, so one of the things that happens when you hook up a blender is this sound, because I don't have the air hooked in. So it's going to continue to, what do we have? Holy smokes, look, the one is keeping up. Here we go. All right, I'm gonna turn it off for the moment. Same thing so if you hook your oxygen in and you don't have your air hooked in.
Turned it down, that's all.
Oh, sorry, you're right. I didn't mean to turn it all the way off. You're gonna get that high-pitched sound, and that's a common troubleshooting thing we see on the boards. So the blender is making a high-pitched sound. What's wrong? Your air is not plugged in.
Good point.
Yeah. Does it only do it for the air?
I thought it would do both.
I thought it would too.
Maybe turn
Well,
it
the
up.
setting, if you turn the setting, is the settings on the blender?
Yeah,
Or
the
just
FiO2
the yellow?
down.
Oh, it's only air.
Oh, it's only on room air right now?
Yeah, so just change
Oh,
that.
hold on. I get it. I just didn't see it.
Look at this.
There we go. So it'll do it for both. So one of the two gas sources isn't plugged in. So that's a super common troubleshooting question that we see. So the blender is making a high-pitched sound. What's wrong? Either the air or the oxygen source isn't plugged in. You only have one, because a blender needs both to work. So it's going to blend down the FiO2 to whatever it is we want. So let's just say we're going to be at 40, and then however many liters. And then that's all there is to set that up, you guys. So it's very easy, but you need to know how to be able to do that. So we're going to put it over there, because a lot of places still use this as the way. Very inexpensive. We already have blenders all over the place. We already have heaters. All we just need is this tubing. Okay? And then as soon as you unplug both, you'll stop hearing that. Okay. Here we have the Vapotherm. Again, we need both to work. And I'll admit, the Vapotherm is not my best machine. I'll do the best I can. I know pretty much how to use it. It's just I haven't had nearly as much experience with it. So.
Do I smell like laundry?
So the
What was that? Does it smell
Vapotherm,
like laundry?
instead of using an external heater source, Everything is done internally. For the longest time, the only way to do high flow nasal cannula was like this. There were not all these other fancy machines, the OptiFlow, I think there's another one out there, this one. These have only been out in the last 5 years or so, which is really, really new for medicine, and it's only been with the increased prevalence of the use of high flow nasal cannula in the adult population. So this is the Vapotherm, as we call it by brand name. There is a tutorial that I'm going to have you guys do that will help you go through this as well. It gives you your little certificate like we always get. So if you open this up on the side here, you're going to see there's a little compartment. So the Vapotherm is, you're going to have high flow and low flow cartridges that look like this. So, and it's really important that you use the right one for the right thing. So this one should tell me it's a, hopefully, doesn't say.
Yeah, the 50-50 shot.
Oh no, this was a low flow. It's right here, it tells me it's a low flow. And then we have the high flow. Gee, can you, I thought we had. Oh yeah, I need the, Sharon, I need the cartridge. The cartridge isn't here. That's what I was ultimately looking for. The low and the high cartridges, can you grab those? That's what I'm missing. Sorry guys. Okay, so you're gonna put this in. We need the cartridge, but there's a separate cartridge that's gonna be in here. And my apologies, it's the cartridge that's low or high. So once we get that, we're gonna actually set this into here so that this would go like this. But we can't do it without this cartridge. So as soon as she grabs those. This part here would spike your water bag. So if we were actually using this, we would hook it up into here and the water would actually flow in like we needed it to. Does that have both in it?
Well, there's if it's blue, it's high flow.
Oh, perfect. Thank you. There we go. Thank you. Ta-da. High flow, low flow. But I'll show you too where.
Wow.
Must be new disposable because they didn't used to be disposable. So it says right here, this is high flow and it says 5 to 40 liters per minute. And the low flow and you'll see the caps are red and blue too. This one is low flow and it's gonna say 1 to 8 liters per minute. So it's this cartridge that's gonna tell you that, okay? So if you don't see the tags, you can always look. So you're gonna take these off and then this is going to sit in here like this. There's the 4 little things right there, holes, and then you're just gonna push those in. Please be careful when you take them out. Somebody broke one once and the top broke off, like this whole prong broke off inside when you take it out because it's all gotta be airtight. So it's a very tight rubbery seal in there. Stuff breaks, you guys. Nobody's gonna yell at you. Nobody's gonna terminate you from the program, okay? If something breaks, please tell me. Because this broke before we had any extra supplies and we were getting ready to use it and it was broken and we didn't know it and it was just sitting there broken. So no one, I've never yelled at you when oxygen stuff breaks. It breaks. Just please be honest and just tell us so we can get replacements.
In that case.
Everybody but you, Jeremy. So there's only one way this is gonna fit in, you guys. This here has to fit right there. So you can figure when you put it in, the only way that's gonna work is to have that in the back, okay? So you can push this in and close your door. Say bye-bye. Hook it up, and then we can turn it on. Well, we should plug it in first.
Troubleshooting 101.
Thank you. Plug it in. And there's even nice little directions on the side. And one of these bags, I think, has a nice little setup guide in it too. If not, I have one that. So here, so all there is to this, you guys, is setting your flow, your FiO2, and your temperature. And it's just telling us right now that we don't have our water bag hooked up, and it actually says it's got a high flow cartridge in it. So it's even smart. It'll tell us everything. So if I want to change something, I'm going to press the dial. I'm going to turn it. I can turn the FiO2 up. So let's say I wanted 40%. And then I can press it, and then it's going to go to the next one. I want to set it to, you know, maybe 35. Press it and accept, and then I can put my liter flow. And of course, like I said, I can go all the way up to 40. And then that's it. I'm good. And if you just let it sit, I believe it stops flashing after a minute. And then if I need to silence the alarm, I can silence the alarm there. And then once I have it set, I push the button again. And, oh, I didn't. Hold on a minute. I forgot to hook up the other part. See what happens when you don't use it in a while? Yeah, I know. I did it wrong. Give me a minute. Sorry, guys. The tubing is going to go. I think it goes right here. Right here, like that. So you're going to put your tubing in and then put it into the side cartridge. See, sometimes we just have to go through together. Everything changes all the time in medicine, as you know. And then you can slide that down. So before you put your cartridge in, put this piece in to have your tubing on it, okay? And then now we can get ourselves going again, turn it on. And if our cannula was hooked up on there, you'll be able to feel what once it gets going.
Temperature wise, is it the same rule as BiPAP 32 to 35, or is that common to see be included in the order?
You know, honestly, I'm not sure. Sharon, do you?
I thought the rep said like 35.
I was thinking 35. It should be about the same as a BiPAP. Because you're not.
It has a paper that says 35 to 40.
Oh, okay.
Because you would think it would cool off a little bit on the way. We'll just say 35 to 40.
35 to 40. And then you'll be able to feel the, and this one you can actually put a regular nasal cannula on the end of it, but the high flow ones are nice because they have a little bit bigger orifices. And this is going to continue to flash until it gets up to the actual heat setting that you want. So that's it for that one.
Oh, remember, because you can also connect to a tray. So there is a little adapter.
Oh, yeah.
And when we start playing around with it, we'll bring it out. So there is an adapter so that you can provide the heated humidified O2 to a tracheostomy tube, which is a huge benefit.
I forgot about that. Yeah, there's a trach adapter too. And then I just pushed and hold this when I wanted to put it kind of like on standby. So let me just review since I did it a little wrong the first time. So we're gonna take this. That's hot.
Oh, I see heated. Workman's comp.
It's the same crap you do if you're just. Be careful, this is very hot. Yeah, right. So that's very hot. So we're gonna be very careful with how we touch that. But yeah, word of the wise, this is gonna be very hot right here. And this is gonna be very hot right here. I know better. It's just like, you know, you go to grab something you're not thinking on the stove or whatever. So we put this piece in, low flow or high flow, and then we're gonna add the piece for our tubing, which is gonna go right down here. We're gonna push that in. It has to set in little holes here, and it has to set here, and it needs to be pressed straight in place. I just don't want to burn myself again. Like that, and then you can slide the whole piece in like that, and then close the door, and then do your settings, and then hook up everything.